What did he say?
Huh?
Man, I think this is funny, man. As you can see, the WBC has ordered their mandatory challenger, David Benavidez, to fight Dmitry Bivol for his undisputed title, as I told you. And I told you that because David Benavidez was present in Riyadh season during the Beterbiev and Bivol rematch for undisputed, right? But now I'm here to tell you that WBC president Mauricio Sulaiman is full of shit for ordering this fight. And I'm also here to tell you why David Benavidez is never gonna get it.
And now it's time for a breakdown.
Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Never gonna.
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? It's your boy, Dr. Boxing Talk, back for another YouTube video. Banger, man. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I don't know what time it is. The doctor's in the house, man. So check this out. I hate to be the bearer of bad news because I like David Benavidez, man. The Mexican monster, a.k.a. El Bandera Roja, a.k.a. just the overall man. I rock with David Benavidez heavy, man, you know. But he's just in a very disadvantageous position, you know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate, right? But I called this, you know. I said that he's in the same position at light heavyweight now that he was in at 168, and people are like, oh no, Doc, you tripping, bro. I know that we like to say Canelo didn't want to fight Benavidez, which could be true, you know, that's debatable. But what's not debatable is that Canelo never ducked him as far as being officially ordered to fight him. Bullshit. Right? He was never ordered to fight him at 168 when David Benavidez was in the #1 position for the WBC, right? There's a difference between being in the #1 position and being ordered. And case in point, this is exactly what David Benavidez is going through right now, right at 175. It's the same situation. Now, I always tell you, Canelo, old Cinnamon, is a face of boxing. You know, one of my favorite fighters, you know, him, Tank, and probably Junto Nakatani right now. But I like a whole lot of other fighters, and it never makes me put my feelings over the facts. We prioritize facts over feelings over here on this side. And this is why I love doing what I do, because it's so easy to be consistent and be unbiased when you are being objective, you know what I'm saying? And we keep objectivity over here. And I told y'all that David Benavidez was never officially ordered to fight Saul Canelo Alvarez, which is why he never had to vacate his belt, and he could simultaneously not fight him because it behooved all the sanctioned bodies, particularly the WBC and Mauricio Sulaiman, to keep the cash cow in Cinnamon as the belt holder and not mess him up and not make him angry, right? Because there's more money in their pockets, and it is a business. Even though it's a sport, you know, for it to be a sport, you know, it's competition and business. That's how it's a sport, right? You know what I'm saying? So right now, the same situation that happened with David Benavidez in terms of Canelo and getting to challenge for a belt is happening now at 175. But guess what? Dmitry Bivol just became undisputed, what, a week ago? And guess what the WBC has already done, according to Chava at ESPN. Check it out right here. Now, I know it's in Spanish, but the translation is essentially that they have ordered David Benavidez to fight Dmitry Bivol. When have you ever seen that verbiage used when it came to David Benavidez and Canelo? I'll tell you, never. You see what I'm saying? And look, if you don't believe him and you don't believe me, well, believe the WBC themselves. So as you can see right there, they have already officially ordered that David Benavidez must fight Bivol, or rather Bivol must fight David Benavidez next. However, the caveat with that is, and this is why I say he'll never get it,
Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna.
is because unfortunately Bivol is not just a WBC champion. He's not just a WBO champion. He's not just an IBF champion. He's not just a WBA champion. He's a champion of all four of them things, which is why he is undisputed. And when you're undisputed, you have to follow the order of things. And with the order of sanctioned bodies, oh, do you remember this guy named Michael Eifert?
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that? You know damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that?
You don't remember him? Oh, don't worry. I'll refresh your memory. That's what I'm here for. Michael Eifert is a guy that Artur Beterbiev was ordered to fight before Beterbiev and Bivol's rematch was set. And they gave him step-aside money in order for them to have the rematch remain as an undisputed fight again between Beterbiev and Bivol. So just because Bivol has won, Michael Eifert doesn't suddenly go away, meaning that IBF is prioritized as in their fighter from their sanctioned body to get the first shot at mandatory, right? So that means if Bivol's going to fight anybody that's not Beterbiev for a trilogy, it will not be David Benavidez. Hell, it won't even be Callum Smith. Hell, it won't even be Canelo rematch. It will be Michael Eifert, since he is in the #1 mandatory position for the IBF. And then guess what? Even if they somehow give him step aside money again, it still won't be David Benavidez, because the next order of sanctioned in the sanctioned bodies and how priorities go, it would be Callum Smith for the WBO. Ain't that something? Even though David Benavidez is #1 and 2 sanctioned bodies, the WBA, the WBC, he's still not next. You know, it's the IBF, then the WBO, and then David Benavidez in them in the WBA and WBC, which they have, you know what I'm saying? So at very best, maybe, you know, Dimitri Bivol and Big Turk and all of them could decide not to have the trilogy, which I don't see why they wouldn't have the trilogy. But let's say they don't have the trilogy, and then they could give Michael Eifert some step aside money or something like that. Then they could have, then they'll have to give Callum Smith some step aside money, and then they could have the David Benavidez matchup, which is not completely unheard of, right? Because a lot of people would want to see Bivol and Benavidez fight. So it's pretty much up to Bivol's team, because at the end of the day too, guess what they could also do? If Bivol doesn't want to fight Benavidez and Benavidez really, if Bivol doesn't want to fight Benavidez and the WBC really wants to enforce their rules, which they seldomly do, but all of a sudden they want people to adhere to their rules, well then guess what Bivol could do? He could do the same thing Canelo did and vacate his belt. Remember when Canelo vacated his belt for the IBF because no one heard of William Skull, so then William Skull and Vladimir Shishkin fought, and now William Skull is the champion as a result? Yeah, that's what he could do. And remember how Alexander Usyk had his rematch with Tyson Fury, which was supposed to be undisputed like the first one was, but it wasn't. You know why it wasn't? Because he was in a similar situation where the IBF wanted Usyk to fight Daniel Dubois. And he said, Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Jackson. I thought we was going to Lil Bow Wow's house.
I'm fighting Tyson Fury because it's more bang for my buck. It's worth it for me. And so he was stripped. And then the second fight with Tyson Fury was only for 3 belts as opposed to 4, being undisputed again. So even if WBC wants to be a stickler and you know, force it upon Bivol could be like, oh no, I'm giving Beterbiev the trilogy because this is the most lucrative deal for me. And this is what Big Turk wants. And we'll just fight for 3 belts as opposed to 4. Because now they're both undisputed, so they don't even need it anymore, because their name is forever in the history book. So they already got undisputed, so now they can just go for the money. So then David Benavidez is still you see what I'm saying? And shout out to David Benavidez. This is not his fault, but at the same time, you have to be aware of the situations that you were just in and the one that you're about to jump in now. You just went from one situation at 168 and jumped into the same exact situation at 175.
You dumbass.
You know what I'm saying? So right now, you just have to be patient, bro. You either got to wait to the trilogy and then hope that Bivol or Beterbiev beat Michael Eifert, and then hope that, you know, Callum Smith is not enforced for the WBO, and then you get your turn. Or you could do something else, like, you know, he's been exploring fighting Zurdo Ramirez at cruiserweight, or even potentially fighting Callum Smith yourself, and then you won't have to worry about him. You know, because then you'll be after Michael Eifert, or hell, you can even fight Michael Eifert and take his position, or whatever you want to do and unify with the interim belts again. But like I said, it's not David Benavidez's fault per se. I mean, some people would blame him, but it's definitely not Canelo's fault he didn't get a chance, because that's a sanctioned bodies. They have to enforce their own rules, just like they're doing right now with Bivol. So it is what it is, man. These are just how rules go, but we'll see. You know, boxing moves with fluidity, and things could change all the time, but I love doing this because I told y'all this way before the rematch even happened with Beterbiev and Bivol, way before Benavidez even flew to Riyadh season and attended the fight that was undisputed rematch between Beterbiev and Bivol. I told you this was going to happen. Why? Because I pay attention to this. Is why you rock with me. For those of you that rock with me, I appreciate y'all appreciating me and my gosh dang accuracy and precision when it comes to this boxing talk, because we prioritize facts over feelings. You know what I'm saying? We also give our feelings and tell you what we think as well, but we make sure that our opinions stay opinions and the facts stay the facts. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. Don't forget to smack that like button, but most importantly, remember, with God we can do anything, without God we are nothing. And let me know in the comments what you think about this. Is David Benavidez getting the short end of the stick again, or, you know, does he got to pay attention to what's going on and really blame the root of the problem, and that's the greedy behind sanctioning bodies like WBC president Mauricio Solomon? Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Peace. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold, we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.